Thank you for visiting our channel. Please like, share and subscribe for more exciting food videos. Now that we know its history, it's time to talk about the best baking tips and tricks to get that perfect, moist cake. Let's get baking. How to make the perfect red velvet cake. Creating the perfect red velvet cake requires attention to detail, quality ingredients, and a little bit of love. Each step plays a crucial role in achieving that rich flavor and striking color. Let's break down the essential components to help you bake a cake that dazzles. Choosing and prepping ingredients. Starting with quality ingredients sets the foundation for your red velvet cake. Fresh ingredients not only elevate the flavor but also ensure the right texture. Here's what to focus on. Cocoa powder. Choose unsweetened cocoa powder, as it contributes to the subtle chocolate flavor. High-quality cocoa enhances the cake's depth. Buttermilk. Homemade buttermilk is easy to make by mixing milk with vinegar or lemon juice. This ingredient is essential for moisture and reacts well with baking soda. Red food coloring. Select a good quality gel food coloring for a vibrant hue. Gel coloring provides a bright red without adding too much liquid. Sugar and eggs. Fresh eggs help the cake rise perfectly, while granulated sugar sweetens and contributes to the crumb. Preparation matters too. Measure your ingredients accurately and have everything ready before starting. This organization will help you create a seamless baking process and reduce the chances of mistakes. Step-by-step baking process. Baking red velvet cake may sound daunting, but it is straightforward when broken down into manageable steps. Here's a simple guide to follow. Preheat the oven. Start by preheating your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 175 degrees Celsius, and prepare 2 round cake pans by greasing and flouring them. Mix dry ingredients. In a bowl, whisk together flour, cocoa powder, baking soda, and salt. This ensures even distribution of dry ingredients. Cream butter and sugar. In a separate bowl, cream together softened butter and sugar until light and fluffy. This step is key for a tender cake. Add eggs and food coloring. Incorporate the eggs one at a time, making sure to beat well after each addition. Then, mix in the food coloring until the batter is uniformly red. Combine wet ingredients. Add buttermilk, vinegar, and vanilla extract to the mixture. Mix gently until combined. Combine dry and wet ingredients. Gradually add the dry ingredients to the wet mixture, mixing just until everything is combined. Don't overmix, as this can lead to a dense cake. Bake. Pour the batter evenly into the prepared pans. Bake in the preheated oven for 25 to 30 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean. Cool the cakes. Remove the cakes from the oven and allow them to cool in the pans for about 10 minutes. Then transfer them to a wire rack to cool completely. Decorating the cake. Once your cakes are cool, it's time to decorate. Here are some tips for frosting and decorating your red velvet cake. Frosting choice. Cream cheese frosting is traditional, but you can use buttercream if you prefer. The key is to have a smooth consistency. Level the cakes. If the tops of your cake stoned while baking, level them using a serrated knife. This will create a more stable structure for stacking. Crumb coat. Apply a thin layer of frosting to seal in crumbs before the final layer. Chill the cake for about 30 minutes after this step. Apply final frosting. Use a spatula or a piping bag to generously frost the sides and top. Smooth out the frosting or create swirls for added flair. Decorative elements. consider garnishing with walnuts, chocolate shavings, or edible flowers to enhance visual appeal. You can also add sprinkles or chocolate chips for fun variations. Common mistakes to avoid. Avoiding common missteps can save you time and frustration. Here's a list of frequent mistakes and how to steer clear of them. Overmixing the batter. Keep mixing to a minimum once you combine wet and dry ingredients to prevent a dense cake. Incorrect oven temperature. Always preheat your oven. An unheated oven can lead to uneven baking. Skipping the cooling process. Allowing cakes to cool properly prevents them from falling apart when you frost them. Not using fresh ingredients, old baking powder, or expired eggs can affect the cake's rise and flavor. Too much frosting. While it's tempting to pile on frosting, excessive amounts can overwhelm the cake's delicate flavor. By following these guidelines, you'll set yourself up for success in making a perfect red velvet cake that's visually stunning and deliciously rich. Time and care spent in each step will reward you with a dessert everyone will love. Variations of red velvet cake. Red velvet cake is not just a classic dessert, it can also be adapted into various forms to satisfy different cravings and dietary needs. From cupcakes to gluten-free options, the possibilities are endless. Let's explore some creative variations that will inspire your next red velvet creation. Red velvet cupcakes. Red velvet cupcakes offer all the deliciousness of the classic cake in a convenient, single-serving form. The recipe is essentially the same as the cake, but the batter is divided into cupcake liners, making them easier to serve at parties, gatherings, or as a treat. To make the frosting process simpler, use a piping bag to swirl cream cheese frosting on top of each cupcake. For added flair, decorate with sprinkles, small candy pieces, or even a dusting of cocoa powder. Red velvet cake pops. Cake pops are a fun, bite-sized way to enjoy red velvet cake. The process involves baking a red velvet cake, then crumbling it and mixing it with frosting to form small balls. These cake balls are then dipped in melted chocolate or candy coating and placed on sticks. Cake pops are perfect for events where you want to serve a cake in individual portions. The combination of moist red velvet cake and creamy frosting, all covered in chocolate, makes these little treats irresistible. Red velvet pancakes. Why not enjoy red velvet cake for breakfast? Red velvet pancakes combine the flavors of the traditional dessert with a morning favorite. To make red velvet pancakes, simply incorporate the typical ingredients of red velvet cake into your pancake batter: cocoa powder, buttermilk, vinegar, and food coloring. The result is a stack of fluffy, red-tinged pancakes that taste just like the classic cake. Serve them with cream cheese syrup or traditional maple syrup for a decadent treat. Vegan red velvet cake. For those following a plant-based diet, vegan red velvet cake is a great alternative. This version eliminates animal products while maintaining the same rich flavor and tender texture. Substitute ingredients like flax eggs or chia seeds for traditional eggs, and use plant-based buttermilk made by combining non-dairy milk, such as almond or soy milk, with vinegar or lemon juice. Non-dairy cream cheese and butter substitutes can be used to make the frosting. Gluten-free red velvet cake. If you need a gluten-free option, it's easy to adapt the classic red velvet recipe. Simply swap out the all-purpose flour for a gluten-free flour blend. Make sure to choose one that includes xanthan gum or guar gum, as these ingredients will help bind the cake and give it the proper texture. Gluten-free red velvet cake is just as delicious and moist as the original, making it a fantastic choice for anyone with dietary restrictions. Red velvet cheesecake. For a truly indulgent twist, try red velvet cheesecake. This variation combines the rich, tangy flavor of red velvet cake with the creamy texture of cheesecake. The base is typically a layer of red velvet cake topped with a cheesecake filling. This dessert combines two favorites into one decadent treat, making it perfect for those who can't decide between cake and cheesecake. Red velvet cake's versatility doesn't end here. You can experiment with different frosting flavors, fillings, and shapes to create your perfect red velvet treat. Whether you go for cupcakes, cake pops, or even a decadent cheesecake, the red velvet flavor profile will remain the star of the show. The enduring appeal of red velvet cake. Red velvet cake has stood the test of time and remains one of the most beloved desserts around the world. Its rich history, unique flavor profile, and visually stunning appearance continue to captivate bakers and dessert lovers alike. Whether you stick to the classic recipe or experiment with new variations, red velvet cake is a dessert that brings people together and makes any occasion feel extra special. So, the next time you whip up a batch of red velvet cake, remember the journey it's taken over the years, and appreciate all the delicious twists and turns it's taken along the way. Happy baking! Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, share and subscribe.